Toastmaster, and Mr. Director.
The title of your speech is, what are the differences between men and women?
What are the differences between men and women? Good evening, club, and honored guests. What I'd like to speak to you tonight about, very passionately I might say, is the differences between men and women. Now, I'm assuming everyone has eyes, and I'm assuming that everyone has experience with men and women, and you know the difference. But it's a little more complicated than that. It really is. I used to be a manager of a department, and I had roughly around 14 people. It fluctuated, and the majority of them were women. About 12 of them or so were women. I always had at least a couple token men. And it was very interesting, the differences that I would come across in dealing with both of them. And one of them is probably some of the things we may know or may not know, but one difference is men are just very task-oriented, and that they're doing the work, getting it done. And their need for affirmation is, I'll say, minimal. Now, women, on the other hand, you know, you're in a business environment, it's task-oriented too, but there's more of a presentation in how they go about doing their work, and they also require more affirmation. They require a steady flow of affirmation. This is all by experience, and nothing here is stereotypical. This is all my experience as a manager of the difference between men and women. And so it required me to spend more time with the women in affirming, in giving them their praise for the effort that they did. There's nuances to it. It's not always blatant. That's stereotypical. But there's nuances with it. So there's one right there. Another difference between men and women, it's quite interesting how men, they do want to get promoted. They do want to succeed. They do want to climb. And that's part of the nature of men, to accomplish. And so they're working hard, trying to get this done, come up with this idea, what have you. And it's almost a little bit impersonal. Women, on the other hand, very personal. And I love having women in my department because they cared about me. They actually would take time to do things for me. Well, simple things, like bring me some food. They would give me treats, but that's a different mindset. They're thinking of me. The men, they never thought of me. They never gave me anything, but the women would. It's their nature to care, to serve, and so I always loved that part of women, and I always enjoyed that they cared about you, they thought about you, and they would do things for you. So that's a personal aspect of the difference of men and women. Another difference between men and women is obviously the way they look. Obviously the way they look. We men, in general, don't care how we look, other than making ourselves, put ourselves together, and how it comes out is how it comes out. You know, we may or may not iron our shirts, and we try to put an ensemble together, and that's that. We don't go around saying, hey, cool outfit today. I don't know like what you're wearing today. We don't do that kind of thing, you know. Women, on the other hand, they plan. They think about. And now the stereotypical thing is they shop. And they shop, and they shop because they plan to look a certain way. And that's part of their appeal, and of course that's what attracts us women to men, is how they look and how they present themselves. You know, we may or may not match, but women do match. I mean, it can go all the way from the bows in their hair, all the way to the way they color their nails. It's all matching. And so there is definitely more care and more thought and more emotion in what they do to present themselves. And that is actually something very special and something to be admired and something to be praised. And I'm saying now that to us men. That is something to be praised. When you see a woman that looks lovely, it's not a bad thing to say it. Of course, it's how you say it and in the context and environment that you say it. But it's not a bad thing. It's kind of actually, it's unfortunate in our society because of the nature of how people can be, and also the accusations that people or people can make, that you can't compliment and say someone, I really like the way your hair looks tonight. Oh no, sexual harassment. That does happen. But don't let that stop you. What is lovely, pursue what is lovely, say what is lovely. What is good, pursue what is good, say what is good. And there you have it, the difference between men and women.